And welcome back to the WHHI Daily News. Public Information Officer Stephen Combs from the Bluffton Township Fire District has joined us with some great information about staying safe this summer in our heat. And it is definitely heating up. So Stephen, we're going to jump right in with the different types of heat illnesses, whether it's the dehydration, whether it's the cramping, whether it's strokes. So you want to begin with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that we want people to be aware of is, especially when it's very humid out on days like this, it's very easy for you to become quickly overwhelmed by heat-related illnesses. And so things that you want to be aware of are cramping, dizziness, nausea, rapid pulse, and even as it progresses to that point of confusion. So always want to be aware of those things, especially if you're working outdoors, thinking about those times when you're going to work. Try to avoid the hottest times of the day, and that'll help to really minimize what you experience in terms of those heat-related illnesses.
So Stephen, what is heat stroke? What are the signs and symptoms of that?
Well, heat stroke is a life-threatening condition. Essentially it is a heat-related illness. It's brought on typically because people have not been well hydrated. They start out at that level of the heat exhaustion, which you can get people cooled down, and that hasn't become life-threatening at that point. But once it gets that heat stroke and escalated to that level, it's very serious and needs to be treated immediately, or it could possibly become fatal.
All right. Now, we know it's important to hydrate, dress in cool clothes, but let's say you're home, you really don't even have air conditioning or a fan. So how are there resources in the community if it really gets so hot that you just really can't even stay in your own home?
Well, it really depends on how hot we get and for the duration. Generally, if we get to these conditions where there's multi-day heat waves, we typically will see partners in the community will begin to open up cooling centers. But you can always go to a place like the library. It's a great place to hang out, read some books, get to know your Dewey Decimal System. Go to the movie theater. There's plenty of places with air conditioning that you can go to and get cool, even if it's just for a brief respite.
Right. What is the hottest part of the day? Is it noon or is it like late afternoon? I was just thinking.
Yeah, most people typically think of it as being around the noon time, but actually when you get all of your conditions coming together, it's around between probably about 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon is when we generally see those peak times. So you want to avoid any type of outdoor activity if possible on those hot days, anywhere from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. In a general sense.
So then after 4, it begins to start cooling down a little bit. Is that correct?
It does typically. We may see, depending upon the day and the afternoon heating, we may see it go a little bit longer, but 4 o'clock is about the right time.
All right. So what about leaving a child in a car or a pet? No.
Yeah, even at 60 degrees, it's possible. At 60 degrees outside, it's possible that the interior of that car gets to a point where it presents life-threatening conditions. You never want to leave a child or a pet or a vulnerable adult in a vehicle at any period of time for any length of time. If you're just running inside for a quick errand, take that person in with you. It's always safer, and it will avoid any serious outcomes.
Very good. We have about a minute left. Anything else we haven't covered, Stephen?
Well, the key I want to encourage people to remember is always hydrate. Drink plenty of water. Wear the light clothing, light, loose-fitting clothing. Especially during the hot months, summer months, we want to make sure that the clothing is light and loose-fitting. Those light colors help deflect the heat away from you. Staying hydrated. How do I know if I'm hydrated enough? There's plenty of indicators. You can look at your skin and see if you're starting to get dehydrated. But make sure you're drinking plenty of water. People don't like to drink water, but you might want to add some flavoring like lemon juice or some cucumbers or just some different things that will help that taste better to you.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Stephen Combs with the Bluffton Fire District. Always good information. Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back with more news. Don't go away.